Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is the last day of January the 31st, 2025, man. We'll jump into a quick recap. Try to keep the show pretty short today. There is 7 games on the board for today, and I've made 2 plays so far. A couple things I got on the short list that not sure if I'm going to get there with or not, but let's jump into it. We always start with a recap, then we'll talk about what jaXon likes as well. And I got smoked yesterday. Now, when I say I got smoked, there was 3 plays that I made. All of them were losers. I didn't go super heavy. I felt a little weird about the slate yesterday. Got some CLV with the Lakers and the Wizards. The Lakers just scored the most points that they have on the road in forever. So that was a loser. I like the cap on the game. I think in retrospect, probably just taking the Wizards team total under. Number just wasn't available, and I was trying to get to it early before it dropped too much, but they didn't get to 100 points. So, I got smoked yesterday. Atlanta, Cleveland, you could tell that game was going over from pretty much right after it tipped off. Atlanta, number 1 defensive team last 5 games, not last night. Cleveland got whatever it is that they wanted. Cleveland also gave up some buckets. Atlanta hadn't scored 100 points in quite a while. So that was a loser. And then Memphis, I tried to get there early, did get some CLV. Ja ended up being ruled out. Sengun ended up being ruled out. And Memphis had to come from behind last night to even get a win. They ended up winning by 1 point. So try to be a little bit better today. It was a sweep the day before. And then last night it was a reverse sweep, man. So didn't give it all back. But I had a couple of these were half unit plays. And the other one was a 0.75 unit play. So try to be a little bit better today. I think we do have a couple winners in the chamber. Let's see who's here with me this morning. Algina always seems like she always first. Now this morning, Chris Community went 0-3 on the members pick. I cashed on Portland money line. Glad you got that. She says, and Portland team total over. Magic look god awful. Let's get it back today. Yeah, I need it back today. What up? LJ says top of the morning. Chris Rockets came through on the cash, on the cover. So he was on the Rockets. I was on the opposite side. What up, GLB? Quincy says morning everyone. What's up? What up, Mark? First time I've ever been live, but love the show. I appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. Hopefully we can have some winners today. Good morning, Ray. What up, Sean? Raptors fan says, yo, Chris, Memphis first quarter team total was a winner for me. And shout out to jaXon. Portland or an Orlando under. Yeah, it started off a little rocky first half, but second half, Orlando's offense looked like it normally does. I think they scored 17 points in one of those quarters. So yeah, we'll talk about jaXon. jaXon's on a little heater right now. I think jaXon is 5-0 last 5. And I haven't even been tracking since then, but that's the way it looks like right now. Top of the morning, Christian. Appreciate you for topping in. Good morning, Manny. The usual suspects in here with us as always. Appreciate y'all for popping in. What up, Spanky? This comment is interesting. Good morning, Prolific. What up, Jose? Good morning, Marquise. He said he went 2-0 college basketball, broke even. Morning Fear Elite. What up, Go Who? Says good morning, everyone. Some good looks today. Let's cash and keep it rolling in the court. Yeah, the Discord been going crazy. I feel like they've been eating in the Discord for sure. Let's see. Mark says Orlando equals poop. Did I see Chad in here? What up, Chad? He says Rockets sold. He was on the Rockets money line, I'm guessing. What up, Justin? Brian, good morning, bro. Said smooth running last night till the Grizzlies, but it was a great game. Too many plays last night. Yeah, I thought I got some CLV with mine. It didn't even matter though. What up, Julio? Appreciate you for tapping in. Peasy cashed that under last night at 212.5. I think it finished at 209. What up, Bitsy? Says he likes during double if you build it out. It's a minus 105. We'll get into all of those games. What up, Blunt? Says, I think you should have just took your Lakers and the Wizards team total under, Chris, but you'll bounce back. Yeah, I won't lay that many points with the Lakers, but again, I always say the Wizards are not a real basketball team, so that is my fault. In retrospect, I'm looking at the game last night like, bro, who was really stopping Braun from getting downhill? Valanciunas? What up, Burns? Appreciate you for tapping in. It's all good, man. We'll get it back. What up, Niley? Says you and your Laker gear. Okay, I mean, I don't get to wear it, but so often. Figured I'd just, put it on today. We don't get to celebrate too many wins, and I still end up losing the bet. Lakers always find a way to screw me. Go out there and score 140 points last night against the Wizards, but that's my fault because anybody can do that. All right, let's jump into it for today, man. First up is jaXon, your AI sports betting buddy. Save yourself tons of time with your research, your player props, your size, your totals by using this AI sports betting tool, jaXon. jaXon is, like I said, on a little heater. Yesterday, jaXon like Portland and Orlando under the 212.5. The game stayed under. I think jaXon undefeated on the week. You can go back and catch the shows, but I want to say jaXon is undefeated on the week. So looking at today, I was interested in Spurs versus Bucks. I kind of lean Bucks minus the 3. And it looks like, yes, there are some 3s, but it looks like it is moving to 3.5 on my live eye screen right now. But let's jump into it, see what jaXon likes. And like I said, I always say this. I type the prompt in like literally right before the show. I never look at it. I just read it like as soon as you guys hear it the same time I hear it. All right, so jaXon says key stats and analysis. So it makes me a nice little chart. I always say that. Teams, the ATS records. The ATS records last 10 and points scored in their last 10, points allowed in their last 10, and in recent form as well. And all of this favors the Bucks, like everything. Last 10, they're 6-4. Spurs 2-8. Overall ATS, Bucks slightly more profitable, 48.9% versus 47. Points per game scored, the Bucks average 2 more. Points allowed, the Bucks give up 2 less. And in recent form, Bucks are 6-2 last 8, and the San Antonio Spurs are 1-6 in their last 6. So why Bucks -6 is a strong bet? Recent matchup history: the Bucks and Spurs met earlier this month. The Bucks dominated with a 16-point victory in that game. The Bucks held the Spurs to just 36.8% shooting and limited Victor Wembanyama to 10 points and 10 boards. Milwaukee also hit 19 threes and controlled the glass, which has been a consistent issue for the San Antonio Spurs. Team form and momentum: the Bucks have been solid recently, going 6-2 in their last 8 games. Despite a loss to Portland earlier this week, Milwaukee has shown resilience and strong offensive output, averaging 114.5 points per game. The Spurs, on the other hand, have been struggling with a 1-5 record in their last 6 games. The defense has been a major issue, allowing an average of 128.8 points per game during this stretch. Key player matchups: Giannis averaging 31.7 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game, making him a dominant force. He's probable for tonight's game despite a minor knee issue. His ability to attack the paint and create mismatches will be crucial. Victor Wembanyama leads the Spurs with 24.5 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 3.9 blocks. 3.9 blocks is crazy. But he struggled in the last matchup against the Bucks. The Bucks defense has proven capable of containing them. Rebounding edge: the Bucks have a slight rebounding advantage with a 42.2 rebound averaging 44.2 rebounds per game, while the Spurs have struggled on the boards, particularly in recent games. This could be a key factor in Milwaukee maintaining control of the game. So sharp betting trends, it just tells me that additionally the Spurs are 8-12 at home this season against the spread, further supporting the chances that the Bucks cover. So recommendation: pick Bucks -3.5. Bucks recent dominance over the Spurs, their strong form, and the Spurs defensive struggles make the Milwaukee Bucks the better pick to cover the spread. Giannis's presence and the Bucks' ability to exploit the San Antonio's weakness on the boards and defensively further solidify this choice. So you can still get 3. I see 3s right now on Hard Rock, on Caesars, but it does look like everything else is moving to 3.5. There are some 3s available right now, but this is moving to 3.5 if you want to ride with jaXon. If you want to ride with jaXon. jaXon likes the Milwaukee Bucks -3.5 today. And I kind of was leaning that way too. Not a game that I was super interested in betting, I guess. I also like the Bucks just team total to go over because the Spurs defense has been playing so bad. But we'll get there in just a second. That's what jaXon likes. Let's jump into the games on the board for today. So first one we got up is the Charlotte Hornets. They are getting 14 points as a home dog. This total has dropped from 216 down to 212. And the line really hasn't moved a lot. This opened, I think, 13. It's up to 14. I saw some 14.5s earlier this morning. Now it's back down to 14. And it looks like it's just sitting at 14. So getting into the matchup, we got, and this is one of the games that I played. And I'll just, let me see. Let me get to my notes. All right. So injury report on the Charlotte Hornets side. They will be without Mark Williams. They will be without Cody Martin. They will be without LaMelo Ball, of course. No Brandon Miller. He's also going to continue to miss some time as well. Brandon Miller's done for the season. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Brandon Miller's done for the season, and Josh Green is probable, and Miles Bridges is probable. Then you look at the Clippers. Outside of Chris Dunn, everybody else is going to be in. Super simple cap here. You got the Clippers, third of a four-game road trip. They play in Toronto next. They just beat the Spurs by 8 as a 3.5-point favorite after losing to the Phoenix Suns. They're 7-3 straight up, 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Clippers do struggle on the road. This is a big number to lay with the Clippers, but it's the only way that I'm looking. I'm not looking towards back in the Charlotte Hornets. They have back-to-back losses to the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets, 4 straight unders for them, fifth straight home game for them, and 7th game in 11 nights for the Charlotte Hornets as well. Granted, most of them have been at the crib. This is a Charlotte Hornets team that's 24th in pace last 5 games. They're 22nd in offensive rating, missing pretty much their whole entire lineup again. And when I look at the Clippers, it's been a couple spreads that they've laid really big numbers in so far this season. They were and they covered, and they played really good defense in both of those games. One of them happened to come against the Portland Trail Blazers. They were laying 7. They won that game by 25. And then one of them was against the Wizards. They won that game. They were laying 8.5 to the Wizards, and they won that game by 29. So, I mean, this is a Clippers team that I do expect to be able to go in here, not play with their food, and win this game most likely by 17, 18, 20 points. That wouldn't surprise me at all. This Charlotte team just lost to the Brooklyn Nets by 21, and Brooklyn is a bottom 5 defensive rated team. Clippers also not playing super fast. So I don't think the Clippers should have a problem here. I did play the Charlotte Hornets team total under 99.5. Like I said, they just scored 82 points against the Brooklyn Nets. So that's my look in this one. Let's see if the number is still available. When I woke up this morning, it was. Yeah, still available right now. It is coming down to 98.5, but you can still get 99.5 minus 120 on Bet365 if you got access. The minus 120 was minus 115 when I woke up this morning about 2.5 hours ago. All right, so those are my thoughts on this one. Didn't look into player props at all. Let's see. I'm glad you're enjoying it, bro. Glad you're enjoying it. Make sure you use that referral code so that you do get 50% when you sign up. What up, Flint? Says good morning. Swept my NBA 5-5 last night. Love to see that. Yeah, Jason, I did see that. It was just a super fast-paced game. Richeche had 30 points last night. But Atlanta is almost like Chicago, in my opinion. Like I said, they were a top 5 team. And then they absolutely top 5 defensive rated team, number 1 defensive rated team. And then they, they can't stop a nosebleed last night with a beach towel in Cleveland. Cleveland got whatever it is that they wanted. I think they scored 30 points in every quarter except the 4th. So that was, like I said, it looked like a loser from the beginning. I still like the position I was in, but that's the way it was, man. Steven, that is the play. Team total under for me. Chad says, no. I was on the Rockets plus the 5, was talking about. Oh, said they sold. So, yeah, nice position by Chad here because I was definitely on the 3.5, but that was before. I got to the line early before the Ja Morant questionable news. Sir Thompson cooked me for points, rebounds, and assists, I see. What up, Frankie? Appreciate you for tapping in. Christian says, good morning, Chris and chat. What tier do you use on jaXon? Not trying to be in your business, but I'm thinking of trying it. I use the basic tier, I think. Or is mine? Yeah, mine says upgrade at the bottom. So yeah, mine's just whatever the basic one is. I think it's like a premium and a pro. I think mine is just the regular one. So I use the regular one, Christian. Let's see what else are we seeing here? Cash guy says Bucks are -3 right now. It is moving to 3.5 though. It is moving to 3.5. Zubac first quarter over 4.5 points. Stevenson, he should have a game here. He should definitely have a game here. Taj Gibson is projected to be starting at center for the Charlotte Hornets today. And real quick, when I woke up this morning, Fanatics did have a 13.5 still out there. You can still get, if you like the Clippers, you can get 13.5. BetMGM got a 13.5. But they are if DraftKings got a 13.5. ESPN Bet got a 13.5. So the number is actually coming back down. The only thing that scares me with the spread is like potential that the Clippers end up sitting somebody. Like they're supposed to be healthy outside of Chris Dunn, but we'll see how it goes, man. Also, something to take into your handicapping consideration for today: All-Star snubs, right? Norman Powell did not become an All-Star yesterday. A lot of people thought that he was going to be. We can make arguments that he was supposed to be there. Only James Harden made the All-Star team. Zubac was somebody else that a lot of people in the Clippers organization thought was going to make the All-Star team as well. So other things to kind of take into your handicap. Brian says he likes the Hornets team total under. Chad says huge number, preferred first half, but can't lay 14, but it's the only way I could look. Hornets are dead, and I agree with that. Clippers win by 40. What else are we seeing about this one? Miranda says, I like Zubac over her points. Good morning, Hey, so Miranda if you want to come on the show, Miranda, early, if you up early in the morning, you want to come on the show and give out some of them prop looks that be hitting, just let me know. Miranda be in the Discord sharing her looks. They be cashing. She be cashing. Appreciate you, Miranda, for dropping those off in the Discord. What else we seeing? What else? Harden double for Christian. What up, Rob? I think this is a new name. Appreciate you for tapping in. Dropping Dom says, bet the Lakers for the first time this season and got paid. Won't be doing it again. No. Shout out to my guy Dimes, man. Shout out to Dimes. So he won it done like a Calipari recruit. He in and out. He not staying around to see what happened in the next one. And the Lakers do play the Knicks up next, so it probably won't be good. With no AD, we play the Knicks I think tomorrow. So yeah, it probably won't be good. Or on Monday, I can't remember. Brian says he likes the Clippers minus 13.5 in his pocket. Probably first half when it comes out to team total under 99. Yeah, that's what I'm on. I'm on the Hornets team total under in this spot, under 99. I think they struggle to score offensively. I mentioned the Clippers winning those two games where they were big favorites, 7 and 8.5 point favorites. They did hold both of their opponents under 100 points. With Kawhi on the floor, they do have a defensive rating of about 100. So yeah, it should be a spot where we see a slow paced game as well, which is, I agree with the total coming down. Clippers may only need to score 110 points in this game. This might be like a 110 to 89 type game. So yeah, I would agree with the total coming down as well. All right, next game up. Let's move over to Dallas and Detroit. This is a game that I'm interested in betting. I actually got it on the short list here. When I fell asleep last night, Detroit was actually getting a point. When I woke up this morning, Detroit was actually laying a point and a half. And I agree with that. I'm happy that I see that movement because it feels like I'm, and maybe I should have got it last night, but I still haven't bet it yet. I feel like I'm moving with the market. The market is moving with my thought process here. So, like I said, Detroit was actually opened as a one point dog last night, and the total was at 232, I think it was. It's come all the way down to 229.5 now. So some money's come in on the under, and some money has come in on Detroit to actually win this game. Now, this is going to be a good one, in my opinion. I do think it's going to be a very good game. So you look at the injury report for Dallas, and this is one of the reasons why I like Detroit here. Dallas has they will be without Maxi Kleber, Derek Lively, Dwight Powell, no other big outside of Daniel Gafford, no Luka, of course, and then Dante Exum is a game time decision. Detroit, coming off a couple big losses, will have a full healthy roster outside of Jaden Ivey, of course. This is the first meeting of the season. Dallas has owned the Pistons. They've beaten them 8 of the last 10 games. Now, of course, we know Luka was a big part of those games. And I'm not even saying that Detroit is playing good basketball because they haven't been. Dallas has been playing a little bit better basketball, but the strength of schedule for them recently is the thing that kind of makes me like the Pistons here. So Dallas coming off back-to-back wins. Let me get to my chart real quick. Dallas and Detroit. I want to give you the strength of schedule stuff. All right, so Dallas coming off back-to-back wins, albeit the Washington Wizards and the New Orleans Pelicans, two teams that absolutely, I think they've combined for like 12 wins on the season. This is the second of at least a 5-game road trip for Dallas, 5 straight overs for them. Their defense does not look great. One of the reasons why I like Detroit as well. And they've scored. They have been scoring though. 120 points or better in 4 of their last 5 games, I think it is, for the Dallas Mavericks. So offensively, you look at them right now, they are the 6th best offensive team, still 23rd in defensive rating, and they have played the 8th strongest schedule over the last 5 games because they played the Oklahoma City Thunder twice. But last 2 games have come against some cupcakes, and I feel like we have not seen this Dallas Mavericks team without the secondary presence of a big man outside of Daniel Gafford, like really be exposed at all. When I look at Detroit, the thing that jumps out to me is, granted, they haven't really been that good recently, but this is their first game back home after that 5-game road trip. 3 straight losses for them, 3 straight non-covers. Feels like a bounce back spot. You got Cade coming, excuse me, just received his first All-Star selection. I think Detroit turns up in this spot. Last 5 games, their offense has been abysmal. They're 26th offensive rated team last 5 games. Their defense has still been good, though. 9th defensive rated team, so still a top 10 defense. They have been playing super fast, 3rd in pace. Dallas is 11th in pace over the last 5 games. And Detroit has actually played the 3rd strongest strength of schedule. This is a Detroit team that has been playing against some absolute juggernauts. So whatever I wrote in my notes last night was Detroit team total over or Detroit against the spread. And that's based on Detroit playing the 2nd strongest strength. Last night it was 2nd. It updated this morning. 3rd strongest strength of schedule over their last 5 games. Offensively, they've struggled because of that, averaging just 107 point. Averaging just 107 points per 100 possessions, good for 26th. However, Dallas is 25th in defensive rating last 5 games, allowing 119.6 points per 100 possessions. Their last few wins have been, they haven't been quite exposed for not having a big man, having Gafford. When you just have Gafford against Washington and against New Orleans, you can kind of get away with that. Detroit is a much better rebounding team, a much better defensive team. I know Dallas is the better team between the two, but in this spot, I like Detroit. Off a few losses in a row, I think Detroit can pull this one out. Offensively, Detroit is playing at the 3rd fastest pace over the last 5 games, but have played against, like I said, some really good defensive teams like Houston, Cleveland, Orlando. I wouldn't put Dallas in that same category given the lack of rim protection here. So yeah, I like Detroit in this spot. Have not bet it yet. If I play it, it'll be Detroit on the money line. I also like Cade up and over his 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This is one more narrative driven just because, and I don't play a lot of narrative plays, but if we go over the Outlier just to put some data behind it, I'm not the biggest data guy. I mean, I love data, but not the biggest, not the biggest narrative guy, but I do think some of these players are going to turn up today, especially the ones that got left off the All-Star list that probably feel like they should be on the All-Star list. So if we look at Cade, his points, rebounds, and assists was listed at 43.5 last night. I don't think it's moved any this morning, but I have not checked. So we get over and look at it. 43.5, up and over in 6 of his last 10 games, 4 of his last 5. He's gone up and over this number. I did check the last time that they played last season. He had 33 points, 10 assists, and 9 boards the last time that he played against them. So coming off 3 straight losses, being selected for the All-Star game, you can see recent form. He's done pretty good last 10 games. I do expect him to, in a very, what we're thinking is going to be a very competitive game. I think Cade having a couple days rest, I think it's a nice spot for Cade in this one here. So like the rebound, I want to include the rebounds and assists because I think that he's just going to be a big playmaker in general. Also, I want to include the rebounds because Dallas, I don't think is going to be a great rebounding team, only having Gafford down there to get the boards. I mean, PJ Washington's a pretty good rebounder as well, but I think Detroit's the right side. And if I had to play a player prop, it would be Cade up and over for Cade on his points, rebounds, and assists. I would just put it all together in this matchup here. Let's see what comments we have, and then we'll move over to the next one. Mark Cash too. Nayeli says she likes the Clippers in that last one. We'll get into this game. We have not got there yet. Nelly says she likes the Pistons -3, little extendo. So she thinks that they win the game and cover the number. Julio says backwood. Blunt says, Chris, I don't understand the line, but even without Luka, I think the Mavs are still the better team here. And I agree with that. I think they are the better team. The better team don't win all the time, no, Blunt. They don't win. I like the situational spot for Detroit coming off a couple straight losses and Dallas not having a lot of rebounding. I think Detroit's going to dominate the boards in this game, get a lot of second chance opportunities. So, yeah, I agree. Dallas is by far the better team. Dallas got a couple wins in their most recent games against OKC. They just beat OKC twice. I think they dropped this one, though. I do think they dropped this one. Let's see. Activity, I'm glad you cashed that. Appreciate you for tapping in. Chad says Kyrie, after not making the All-Star team, may show out solid. Yeah, I forgot about Kyrie. Kyrie could absolutely go bananas in this game. Detroit has nobody to guard Kyrie either. Swish says he likes Cade over his points and assists. It's his play. I like the rebounds too. I'm gonna add the rebounds if I bet it. TC Bet says I'm on Jalen during double and Beasley over his 3.5 made threes. I like both of those. Beasley should get the looks. You just got to knock him down. Beasley is either super hot or super cold, and Jalen Duren sets up. Long as he can stay out of foul trouble, he sets up. He profiles very nicely for a double here. TC Bet says he likes the Pistons too. Raptors fan says I kind of like the over for the total in this game. I would only lean over as well. I do think that both teams should be able to score the basketball. Detroit eventually is going, well, not like their defense has struggled. It's been their offense. I think they're going to get it together offensively. And that's also why I talked about liking the team total over here. That number is 114. Yeah, 114 and a half. It's a couple 113 and a half, but 114 and a half for Detroit. I think that they should be able to score here. I do feel that way. JLB says Detroit and under were my systems, but not going. But they're gone as of this morning. Line in total probably changed. It did change because Detroit was the dog, and the total dropped 3 points altogether so far as well. Like Cade. Cash says, what's the Discord contact information? Just shoot me an email and I can send it to you. Rocket Sauce says big win against the mighty Wizards last night, man. It's tough to beat the Wizards. It's so tough to beat the Wizards. If I had enough time, I would do a story time real quick with with last night, man. I'm teaching my son basketball, right? Real quick. I'll just do this real quick. I'm teaching my son about basketball, right? So we turned the game on last night after he get done with dinner, and he's like, Dad, I'm like not watching it. I'm like looking at some lines for some later games and stuff, like checking the injury report or something. And he's like, Dad, the Lakers are playing. And I'm like, yeah, I see him. And he's like, who they're playing against? And I'm like, the Wizards. And he's like, the Wizards, the white team, the team in the white. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you know who I want to win? And I'm like, yeah, you want the Lakers to win. He's like, nah. I want the Wizards to win. And I'm like, no, you don't. And he's like, yeah, I do. Like, are they good? I'm like, they're not good. So I go to ESPN, I pull up the standings, and I say, scroll until you find WSH. So he's looking, he's like, oh, the Lakers, they got like the 8th best record. Mind you, my son's 6. He's like, the Lakers got like the 8th best record. So he keeps scrolling. He goes all the way to the bottom. He's like, Dad, the Wizards only have 6 wins this season. He was like, you're right. I don't like them. I'm rooting for the Lakers. He was like, they're horrible. Man, it was so funny. It was so funny, man. But yeah, just quick story time, man. My son he had me rolling last night, man, trying to teach him basketball, man. That was so funny, bro. I couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, it makes me laugh this morning. Anyway, yeah, I like Detroit. Have not bet them yet. I do like their team total up and over, and Cade up and over his points, rebounds, and assists would be the ways that I'm looking in this game. The only ways I'm looking in this game, man. I think Dallas slips up in this one, but I know Dallas has been cooking. Do agree with the movement moving over from the +1 to the -1, though. All right, next game up. We got the Nuggets and the 76ers. Game we played in Philly. This line yesterday was at 8 is what I wrote in my notes. And now that line is now moved to 9. Actually 10. I'm seeing 10 as well on Circa Superbook. Caesars got it at 10. So even though Denver has lost 3 straight games, have failed to cover 3 straight spreads, all of them as a favorite on the road, the books are saying that this is a bounce back spot. Now we look at the injury report. We know that Joel Embiid does not play basketball anymore. He will not play. Paul George, I think he podcasts a little bit more than he played basketball. He also will not play. Caleb Martin is also out. So Caleb and Cody, I think Cody's out. Anyway, Caleb's out. Drummond is out. Philly's still been able to get the job done. Gershon Yabusele and Justin Edwards and Eric Gordon and Tyrese Maxey, who just got snubbed from the All-Star game, and Kelly Oubre been getting the job done, man. They've been balling. Denver did beat this Philly team. They smoked them early this season, 144-109. They were laying 11.5 points as home favorites in that game. That was earlier this month. They were in much better form for whatever reason. Their offense was playing a little better. Their defense wasn't struggling as much. That game did go up and over the total of 232.5. And Denver has won 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. When you look at the Denver Nuggets specifically, I talked about it a little bit already, but they have lost 3 straight games to start a 5-game road trip. They play first leg of back-to-back. They got a game against Charlotte tomorrow. So no real look ahead tomorrow. They do play in Charlotte. It's a very quick flight from Philly to Charlotte as well. 3 straight non-covers, though, after losing to the Knicks in that last game. And I was actually very happy that they got smoked because they got smoked against the Bulls, too. So I was happy to see them lose that game. But that's totally off topic. Philly, 4 straight wins, 4 straight covers. Third of a 6-game homestand for them. What I wrote in my notes last night was over. I think the over is the right play. Maybe a Philly team, maybe a Denver team total up and over. Philly is surprisingly the 9th best offensive rated team over the last 5 games. They're still bottom 10 defensively, though. 23rd in defensive rating. Denver, 3rd in offensive rating. Also, 2nd worst defense. So you got 2 good offenses, 2 poor defenses. Denver's still playing very fast, 6th in pace over the last 5 games. Philly not playing fast, but they have been playing faster over their last 5 games. I think they're about 17th, 18th in pace over the last 5 games versus the full season. They play a lot slower when Joel Embiid plays and with Paul George and all that. So I do think this game's going to get up and down. I do think we'll see a ton of points here. You could say that it's supposed to be a Denver bounce back spot after losing 3 straight to start the road trip. The 76ers playing their 3rd game in 4 nights as well, and they're coming off back-to-back wins as home dogs. So it should be a little bit of a letdown spot here. Not putting my money on Denver, though, especially with the spread already moving. I didn't want the 8, but Denver I could see Denver getting the job done. They did come to play. Jamal Murray had a big game in the Garden the other day. Jokic got an early foul trouble. That second foul probably wasn't a foul on him either. He didn't even really touch Karl-Anthony Towns. For anybody who watched that second foul, he had to sit like literally 2.5 minutes into the game, which is why Jamal Murray had to take control of the offense. Denver coming off 3 straight losses. I think they could be the right side. Is my money on it? Nope. I'll pass. So I like if I'm playing the game, I'll just take the total up and over. This was at 232 last night, and it is on the move. It's up to 233.5 now. I think the Sixers will be able to score. I think Denver's going to be able to score. I think it's going to be played with a bunch of pace here. So I like over if I'm playing this game. Maybe even a look towards the Denver team total to go up and over. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What up, Cal? I'm trying my best, Rocket. Trying my best, bro. Yeah, he was gone. He was like, oh yeah, I don't like that team. They only got 6 wins, man. Let's see. Yeah, exponentially. Yeah, it was real quick, dropping down. Let's see. Real DJ X says he like Jokic 27.5 points. I think he bounced back in this spot. Jokic triple-double should be in play here. Brian says 76ers have burned me twice, fading them. I can only look at the Sixers again plus the 8.5. So he still thinks that it could be a Sixers spot. Yeah, I think you mean Denver has faded you, has done you dirty twice. I think that's what Brian means right here. And I can understand that. Chad says Maxi points, PRA, threes, everything I can get. And that makes a ton of sense. Denver has not been doing well against guards. Christian Braun, I know he's coming off the bench now that Aaron Gordon is back, or at least that's what's projected. And they don't have a guard that can play defense right now. Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup with Jamal Murray has been one of the reasons why they're a bottom 5 defensive rated team. Denver's just been winning with their offense. The games that they win, they typically, they win with their offense. That's a fact, Swish. He podcasts a lot more than he hoop, man. DLB Bass says Denver minus the 9 is a lean. I think they can get the job done. I just can't. After watching them like get smoked by the Bulls and Philly, I don't know if Philly's figuring it out or not, man. But getting Kyle Lowry back, Yabusele's been hooping. Denver, I will say this. I was looking into the some of the advanced numbers. Denver should absolutely live in the paint. And this is the same handicap I had against the Bulls. The Bulls don't have a big outside of Vucevic, who is not a real big in my opinion. So the Bulls should live in the paint. And the Denver should get whatever they want, which makes sense why Jokic's points should go up. We know Denver's one of the teams in the NBA that shoots the least threes. They like to go inside out, right? They play inside out. Then the kickouts to, the Michael Porter Jr.'s and the Jamal Murray's. But they should be able to get downhill and attack Philly does not have a strong set of bigs. Gershon Yabusele is more like a 4 than a 5. Granted, he's strong, but I'm expecting Joker to get whatever it is that he wants in this game. And Denver's a team that attacks the rim and the paint. Philly is bottom 5 in both opponent rim frequency and accuracy over the last 5 games. So that's why I also like the over, and specifically a look towards Denver team total to go over as well. Denver over for sure, as you says. Over is easy, I feel. I hate stuff that's easy, but yeah, you could be right. Drop a dime says Paul George really came out and said the Pacers owe him a tribute video. Man, he angers me. They don't owe you nothing, bro. They don't owe you nothing. Nayeli says I'm going with the Sixers plus the 9 and the over as well. Jokic over his assist for Johnny Myers. I think this is the new name. Appreciate you for tapping in, Johnny. Anthony says RC was looking at the over in the Nuggets game. Ronald Cobain, is that who you mean, Anthony? Because if so, I like it even more. Shout out to my guy RC. I got to chop it up with him about Unraveled today. Got to get a little Unraveled love. All right, next game up, Raptors and the Bulls. I did bet this one as well. This is the one that looked easy and hopefully is as easy as it looks. I was on a Bulls free diet for a while. Took Denver. They smoked Denver. Faded them the next game. The team total to go under against the against the Celtics, and that was a winner. I am on Toronto. I did play this last night at -3. It opened at 2.5. So a little bit of CLV. These are two teams just going in the opposite direction as of late, though. We know that no Zach LaVine will be, and this is one of the reasons I think the line has moved a little bit. There is no Zach LaVine. Let me just get to Chicago and Toronto. I'll try to be quick with this one. So there is no Zach LaVine. Tyler Horton-Tucker is questionable. On the Toronto side, they do got a couple guys listed as questionable. Grady Dick is questionable. Emmanuel Quickly could return. He has been upgraded to questionable. Kelly Olynyk is questionable, and Sheed is also listed as questionable for the Toronto Raptors. This is the second matchup. Chicago actually beat Toronto earlier this season, and I like Toronto. They've been really good in revenge games. I'll pull that up and show it to you in just a second. So they end up getting a push. Toronto was a 1-point home dog, lost the game by 1. The total did go up over to 239.5, which I think this total is indicative of it probably moving in the opposite direction. I think this is more of an under game, in my opinion. But the total is on the move up, right? Like I said, the last total was 239.5. It went over. The books opened this one at 231. It's just being bet up. I kind of like under, but I'm probably not double dipping here. That game was played on December the 20th, so about a month and a half ago. The totals between these two teams are 7-2-1 to the under in the last 10 meetings. So we got a Bulls team that's been bad, flat out bad. 2-8 straight up, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. Just lost by 22 to the Boston Celtics after beating Denver by 8. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They failed to cover 3 of their last 4 games, and they play in Detroit on Monday. Toronto, 5-game winning streak, 5 straight covers, 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. Just beat the Wizards by 24 as a 6-point favorite 2 nights ago. Toronto is still the number 1 defensive rated team, defensive rating of 96.3. Now, with Quickly back, could that mess some things up? Absolutely. Even with Grady Dick back, because he's missed the last few games as well, he could also throw off the defensive rating. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Toronto, man. This is a team that, like I said, is kind of going in opposite directions. They're actually second in defensive efficiency. In defensive efficiency differential. So the amount of points that they're winning by, or the amount of points that they're outscoring their opponent by over the last 5 games is actually the second best. Now, granted, when you play against the Wizards, that's going to only improve that, especially if you end up winning the game by 24. But if you just look at, if you look at what Toronto has done, it's not like all of their wins have been, close wins. They beat the Wizards, like I said, smoked them, but they also beat the Pelicans by 9. They beat the Atlanta Hawks twice. Only one of those games was actually competitive. And they beat the Orlando Magic by double digits as well. So this is one that, I kind of was looking at last night, like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and hop on the 3. I do think Toronto is the right side. I think Chicago, a bunch of guys on the trade, in the trade market. We have no idea what this team is going to look like. I'll lay the 2 right now. I'll lay the 3 right now. If I had to bet it, I still think Toronto wins the game by multiple possessions. I would take lay the 4.5 as well. Super easy. handicap. Hopefully it's as easy as it looks, because Toronto's been absolutely playing a lot better. And real quick, I'll just go screen share. I'll screen share this. Let's see. This is Give Me the Dog for people that are interested. Sports Data Cree. Real quick. So going back to, I want to share this part real quick. So going back to the Charlotte game, you can't see it behind my face right here, but this is this season home dogs that are getting 13 points or more. So big home dogs are getting 13 points or more, playing the first leg of a back-to-back. This is a reason to fade the Clippers, fade the Charlotte Hornets. They're 1-4 against the spread this season, and you can see that the only cover actually came at the beginning of the season with the Knicks and the Hornets. Knicks were playing around with their food in this game, but this is a fade spot for the Hornets here. The average margin of victory you can see is about 19 points. This is why I said I would lay the points. I didn't lay the points, but I do think that with the Knicks, with the Clippers, with the Hornets playing tomorrow against the Nuggets, it is a spot for the Clippers. Only way I'm looking would be later 13.5, 14. All right, so this is Raptors after a loss this season. Well, Raptors facing a team in a revenge spot. They're only 6-11 straight up. You can see that right here. So in revenge spots, they're only 6-11. But if you look at them in revenge spots and they're at home, look how good this gets. 5-1 straight up, 5-1 against the spread. That is the situation today. You can see the last two opponents have stayed under their team total by a large amount. They gave up 97 to the Celtics, gave up 93 to the Magic. So potential Bulls team total under in this spot as well would be something that I would consider. Giving up about 108 points in this spot as well. So Raptors, for what it looks like, seem like they take these revenge spots pretty serious as well. All right. So let's go through the comments and see what you guys are thinking. And then I got to speed up a little bit. I'm running out of time. Let's see. Toronto -3 for Mark. Seems easy, but I hope that we can get the job done. It feels like the books should set this one off. Yeah, catch up, Justin. Catch up. Derek says Chicago team total under 114.5 and first half under 116.5. Chicago 2-8 to the under first half on the road last 10. They're also 8-2 to the under in the first half at home. Are the Toronto Raptors third best defensive rated team last 10 games? Number one rated defense last 10 games. I like this. I like this a lot. We just cashed on the team total under for the Chicago Bulls against the Boston Celtics, and Toronto's actually playing a little bit better defense. The other thing I failed to mention, I don't even know if I wrote this down, but I did look at it. When you look at what the Bulls have been doing recently, right? The Bulls profile kind of like the Washington Wizards in a sense. They just try to shoot a bunch of threes, right? So on the full season, they are second in 3-point frequency, 10th in accuracy. So they're shooting the 3-point shot really well, and that's when the Bulls can upset you. That's when they can beat you, when they are making threes, right? Last 5 games, however, they are still second in 3-point frequency and 13th in accuracy. So still shooting the 3-point shot really well. Here's the reason why I like Toronto and why I end up betting it. Toronto's actually 6 running teams off the line. Teams are shooting the 6 fewest threes against them last 5 games. And they have the number 1 3-point defense over the last 5 games, holding teams to 26.7% over their last 5 games. So Chicago is not a team that likes to get downhill. They're 21st in rim frequency, 30th in rim accuracy last 5 games. So not only do they not like to shoot the ball at the rim, they don't score at the rim. So I think Toronto will run them off the line. I think Toronto will defend the 3-point line really well. Toronto also really getting back in transition, which we know Chicago likes to push the pace. So this Chicago team total under could be something that you could potentially add. I do expect, like I said, I don't think this total is going the right way. I like the under, and you can actually get under 115.5 right now over on Fanatics right now, and ESPN Bet got it as well. And those are 2 of the books that I would say are not the sharper books. So under 115.5 for the Chicago Bulls might be something I end up adding, Derek. I like it a lot. Jalen says full game under. Chad says I laugh a lot. Fell for the Raptors trap as well. This is way too easy. I'm sure it will die in epic fashion. Hopefully not, Chad. Let's keep our fingers crossed, man. You'll be best likes over. Light Bear, what's up to you, bro? Let's see. Lee says my daughter did the same thing 2 years ago while watching the Arizona Cardinals. She liked the Cardinals logo. My son the same way. He love a logo. he liked the Raptors because of a logo, because he loved dinosaurs. This is his favorite animal. She liked the Cardinals logo, so she wanted them to win. Seeing how bad they were, I was like, never mind. I love that league, man. I love the kids, bro. Love the kids. Mark says he likes the team total under as well. Blunt says Raptors -4.5 is my biggest bet today, but I do not feel good about it. Hopefully it cashes and this closes at like 6.5, so we can all have CLV and win, and it's not even that close. Jose says I like under. Nayeli, Bulls. She says the books know what they're doing. If this was Raptors +2.5, she take them, but over a bucket. Yeah, I think they win by more than a bucket though. Just recent form, Nayeli. But we'll see how it goes. I honestly don't think it comes down to a one possession game at all. We'll see how it goes though. Pete says Toronto's schedule about to put them out of their misery, not getting sucked into it backward. So let's look at strength of schedule last 5. So Toronto has played an easy schedule, very easy schedule. But I would say that the Bulls should be easy as well, based on who they played recently. And they beat some solid teams in here as well. Chicago's also played a really strong strength of schedule last 5 games, the 6th most strongest schedule. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see what else. What up, Scott? Kobe White to get 30. Cocaine says. Julio says Toronto, Bucks, Warriors, my 3-team parlay. Man, hope you cash it. Malik says Bulls W tonight. I like it. Okay, riding with his Bulls. Think that they do what the Bulls do, and sometimes they do, man. We'll see how it goes. I got a -3 ticket though. Let's move over to Bucks and Spurs. So this was the one that Jackson likes. Jackson likes the Spurs. Jackson likes the Bucks. That number is it still 3 on some books? Yeah, it's actually coming down to 2, and I see a 2.5 on FanDuel right now. So you can still get Spurs you still can get Bucks if you want them, but it looks like we're getting some reverse line movement. This was up to 3.5, literally just 45 minutes ago when we started the show, and it's coming down now. So money is coming in on San Antonio in this spot. Not a game that I bet yet. Injury report: AJ Green listed as game time decision. I feel like I saw him in street clothes last game. Yeah, he's missed 6 straight games, questionable with a quad injury. And then Bobby Portis continues to be out as well for the Milwaukee Bucks due to personal reasons. Not sure why he's not with the team. And on the San Antonio side, pretty clean injury report. Chris Middleton and Giannis are both listed as game time decision. I have heard some rumblings that Chris Middleton is on the trading block. So if that's something to take into consideration for your handicap as well. Like, is he actually going to play? Who knows? So just keep that in mind. Is he going to get moved? I actually don't think he will, but I'm just speculating. San Antonio has not looked good recently. I've talked about this, right? Jackson talked about it. Milwaukee, they specifically not looked good against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have actually beaten San Antonio 4 straight times, including the one earlier this season. They were the Bucks were laying 4.5, and they smoked them in that spot, beat them by double digits. I think they beat them by 20, and that game went under the total of 226.5. The San Antonio offense really ran out of gas. I think they scored like 95, 96, 98 points or something like that. The Bucks are in pretty good form. 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the number. They are coming off a loss though to the Portland Trail Blazers. This is the last game of a 4-game road trip, and they have been an over team, 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Are the Milwaukee Bucks? You could say the same thing about the San Antonio Spurs. They have not been playing any defense. It's the second straight home game after the London trip. They came home and got smoked by the Clippers. Lost that game, I think, by 12. So back-to-back double-digit losses. We know that the Indiana Pacers actually beat them by 30, I think 36. And like I said, 7 straight overs for the Spurs because their defense has been non-existent. The Clippers scored 128. This is the first leg of a back-to-back for them as well. They got the Miami Heat coming to town tomorrow. So do the Spurs get up for this one? Probably so. So you got a couple All-Stars in the game, of course. Giannis, Dame was named the All-Star. Victor Wembanyama, first-time All-Star as well. Didn't expect anybody else on the San Antonio Spurs to make it. The Spurs are an interesting case, man, because it feels like during different pockets of the game, they are good enough to, like they show you really good spurts, and then they just can't put it together. It's almost like it's unsustainable for the full game, at least in their last few games. So I'll just lean towards the Bucks here. The 2.5 is very, very enticing. Like I actually like the 2.5 a lot. I think the Bucks it's not like the Bucks are coming off a win. The Bucks actually got smoked in their last game by the Portland Trailblazers. They were laying, I think, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and they end up losing that game by double digits. I think they lost by 12 or 11. So I'll lean towards the Bucks here. Not a game that I think I'm a bet. Me and Dropping Dimes was talking about this like before the Paris game, the first Paris game. To me, it feels like whenever Wemby is playing against a team that's super physical with him, like he can't like really get into his rhythm or his groove. And I do think that Giannis is going to try to big boy him once again. jaXon talked about it. Wemby had 10 and 10 in that game that they played in Milwaukee in the last one. So if Giannis is, like being physical with him again and, bumping him off his spot and kind of, move using his arms and his elbows and stuff, Wemby got to get stronger. That's not going to come overnight. It's going to come in the off season. So I think that throws off Wemby a little bit. San Antonio is a very deep team with Devin Vassell. Not Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan being back. So I'll leave it as a lean right now, but I think the Bucks can win this game, man. I really, really do. I don't want the Spurs, even though I know that they've been playing some pretty good. Well, they haven't been playing really good ball. I know what they're capable of, but I don't want them. Scott likes Derek White. We haven't gotten to that game. He says lean under 232. Last matchup, they scored 243 with a closing line of 239, and the books opened it at 231.5. Yeah, that's what I said, PZ. I know you're talking about the last game now. Let's see. Spurs plus the 3 for Jimmy. Bucks team total over for Bitsy. This makes a ton of sense. Spurs defense has been so bad, man. I want to say it's interesting though because they were so good defensively. Let's put some numbers to the Spurs defense real quick. Let's just see what they're not defending well outside of the actual numbers. So for last 5 games, they're actually the bottom 5 the guarding the 3-point line. Teams are shooting 41%. They're the second worst team guarding the above the break 3. Teams are shooting the most and at the second highest percentage. They're not guarding the mid-range. I know Indy mid-ranged them to death in that game in Paris. And that was one of the reasons why I liked Indy in the first game, because it was the same thing. Last 5 games, San Antonio is the worst defensive rated team, giving up 128.7 points per 100 possessions. Also playing at the 10th fastest pace. They have played the 6th strongest strength of schedule. Milwaukee is 5th in offensive efficiency. They're scoring 122 points per 100 possessions. And they played the 26th easiest strength of schedule. 8th in overall efficiency differential. I'll lean towards Milwaukee. I think they can get the job done. Rob says rolling with jaXon, ride until the wheels fall off. So likes the Bucks minus the 3. You can get a 2.5 now. Brian likes it as well. Bucks team total over for Jose. Wemby over his points, rebounds, and assists. Dropping Dimes likes the Bucks. Peasy likes the Bucks. Don't feel like we want to catch the falling knife here, man. Chad says Spurs. Only way I could look at the first game back was with the jet lag. Bucks guards will struggle to contain Vassell and Johnson. I agree with that. San Antonio going to struggle to contain Wemby in this spot, in my opinion, too. So that's something to take on the other side. Taylor says, morning, Chris and gang. He likes Dame's 3-pointers here. Spurs. I literally just talked about this 3-point defense for the Spurs being this bad. So this makes a ton of sense in my opinion as well. Looking at Dame to hit some threes here. Steven says, don't forget about the press conference about the refs and Wemby will be possessed tonight. Okay. Maybe a Milwaukee team total over. I couldn't talk you off of that, Mark. I like that one a lot as well. Kurt says, if I don't sweep the board tonight, I'm blaming it all on Terry Rozier. That's funny, man. Naeli says she likes the Bucks minus the 3, blindly fading the Spurs. To be honest, minus the 5. Chad says may actually get there with the Spurs. Loving all the Bucks love. You don't want to do that, Chad. These ain't the times where you want to go against everybody. I don't know if you've been on Denver recently. Sometimes these teams just not getting there, man. They're not getting there at all. The sharp plays have not been cashing like that recently. Not at all. All that Orlando love last night, boy. Well, people probably love to have a refund, man. Same thing with the Denver Nuggets. But yeah, don't let me talk you off. Whatever it is you like. I like Milwaukee, especially in the bounce back spot. Next game up, we got Pelicans and Celtics. Injury report real quick. So Al Horford and Sam Hauser, both game time decision for the Bucks, and the Pelicans should be at full strength. Yeah, Jordan Hawkins has an illness, and Daniel Tice got a thumb injury. He is listed as doubtful here, but outside of that, they should have everybody they typically have. Herb Jones, no Herb Jones, of course. Brandon Ingram, I think, has been cleared for contact in practice, so he's eventually going to play. And then for the Celtics, they have dominated the Pelicans overall. They've won 7 straight in the head-to-head matchup. But New Orleans did cover. They almost won that game back on the 12th earlier this month. They lost 119 to 120. They were getting 14.5 points in that game, and it did go up and over the total of 230.5. And this total opened a little bit higher at 231.5. Now it's up to 232. And I do think this is an over game. I think the Celtics should be able to score. Am I laying this many points with the Celtics? Absolutely not. The Pelicans have been absolutely trash recently. 4 straight losses, 4 straight non-covers as well. They actually did get a cover. They got a push in the last game. So 4 straight losses after 4 straight wins for the Pelicans. They don't know if they want to win or lose. They are 0-4-1 against the number in their last 5 games. 7-3 to the over. No defense. Offense playing super fast. But I can't lay this big of a number with the Celtics. It would only be Pelicans and nothing for me, especially off the couple losses. This would be the sharp play, Chad, that I would be trying to take. Would be the Pelicans here plus the points. This line open at 11. It's still sitting at 11. I think the Pelicans could potentially keep this game within the number. It's something that I'll monitor throughout the day. The Pelicans be ruling players out at the last minute. The trend with the Celtics, I talk about this all the time. They're 2-10 against the spread when they won a game by 20 points or more, when they won their last game by 20 points or more. 2-10 against the spread. If they're coming off a 20-point win, and they just beat the Bulls by what, 20? What did they beat the Bulls by? 22. So yeah, falls right in line with this one. They're 2-6 if they're coming off a spread. If they're coming off a game where they won by 20 or more, and the next game is on the road. They're 0-6 in their last 6 if they're coming off a game where they won by 20 and they land double digits in the next spot. So only look towards the Pelicans here. I think the number is too big, in my opinion. If you've been following the patterns and the trends with the Celtics, you know when to take them and you know when not to take them. So a slight lean towards the over. Celtics are better defensively on the road, but I think the Pelicans, with no rim protection, Porzingis should absolutely eat in this game, get whatever it is that he wants. I would be looking at the Celtics to be able to score, and I think the Pelicans should be able to contribute enough to keep this one close as well. So that's my thought process. Pelicans plus the points, and a slight lean towards the over as well. Let's see. Chances, I ain't messing with Denver at all. I'm staying off of them. Sharp play or not, I'm cool. Remember that Denver line against the Knicks though opened at 3.5. It got bet all the way down to 2.5. And we're seeing the same type of action come in on Denver today. LJ says Celtics have lost in 10 in a row coming off an ATS win as double-digit favorites, including favorites. Shout out to Ronald. So RC must have talked about that. But yeah, I had the same. We got something similar. We capped the games a very similar way. GLB Best likes over. Parlay J says Zion double-double. Oh, my fault, Mark, if you was on Orlando. That's just how it's been happening, man. It's one of the reasons I couldn't get there with Orlando yesterday. That offense is anemic, man. It's like making your eyes bleed. They play so bad. Chad says Porzingis first quarter points. This is something that's been absolutely cash. I got to write this down. I forgot about it. I didn't think about it until I'm watching the game against the Bulls, and I think I left to go to the bathroom. I come back and I hear the announcer say that's 13 points in the first quarter for Porzingis. It was like 9 minutes left. I'm like, wow, Porzingis got that many points in the first quarter. So yeah, Porzingis points in general or his first quarter points have been absolutely money. Raptors fan says he likes Porzingis over his threes here. Couldn't talk you off. Pelicans plus 10. Dog of the day, Brian says. How will the Celtics stop Zion without Horford? I don't think Horford is going to stop Zion. Landon says he grabbed the Celtics team total up and over. No, gave up like 140 to Dallas. Don't see how Boston can't get around 125. Not disagreeing with you, Landon. I think the Celtics will be able to score in this game. Pelicans look like they're allergic to playing defense recently. Naeli says Pelicans plus the 11, sprinkling a little on the money line. Tatum under his points, rebounds, and assists. Tatum is overrated, but can people stop hating on him? The hate is real. Shaking her head. Nayeli says. Yeah, so I won't get into the Tatum stuff. I like Tatum, but yeah, he can be a little up and down at times. GLB Best says Pels with rest at the crib, 12-6 to the over. I like it. Brian says, Chris, can you look at double-digit dogs off a home loss this year? Let's look into it real quick. So let's see if there's something else. I was actually got the Celtics after a 20-point win. I'm not going to pull all that up, but just know that they are trash after a 20-point win. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's look at that real quick. We got said double-digit dogs off a home loss. So double-digit dogs off a home loss, 2-26 straight up, 15-13 against the numbers, so slightly profitable at 53.6%. Last two have not cashed. The Nets got smoked by the Kings. The Nets got smoked by the Suns. Those were the last two double-digit dogs off a home loss this season. The Celtics did get a cover against the Clippers got a cover against the Celtics, that game that everybody rested. And the Nets also got a cover against the Knicks. Those were the last four instances of double-digit dogs coming off a loss. Let's see. Cash guy says I have inside book information. They are adjusting the lines for the Celtics because of that trend and all the bets going against them. Be careful. Celtics win by 12. Yeah, I'll fade that. Appreciate you though, Cash guy. And I didn't bet it yet either, but I'm not looking towards laying as many points with the Celtics. That's just my thought process. Not sure how motivated they'll be, but I know that they haven't been motivated recently. All right, next game up, we got this is the last one, right? Yeah, last one. We got the Suns and the Warriors game we played in Golden State tonight. This one, when I woke up this morning, there was actually a nice little middle that you could get. I don't really middle too much, so I didn't mess with it at all. But I think you can still get it. The Golden State Warriors are plus 1.5 on Bet365 right now. And nah, never mind. It's gone. It's gone now. So there was plus 1.5 on both sides. So pretty much like a toss-up type game. It does look like the Warriors have moved to a 1-point dog as the consensus, as at least when I first. Yeah, it's still that way. And the total has moved up. It opened to 26.5. It's a lot of money has come in on the over. Pushed it up to 229 now, even just in the last hour. So looking into the game, the injury report for the Golden State Warriors, they will be without Draymond and Kuminga, but they do have everybody else listed as available in this one. And then for the Phoenix Suns, clean injury report. Everybody should be available. Now, we know Bradley Beal's name has been in a lot of trade rumors. The Phoenix Suns in general still trying to upgrade their roster, the Jimmy Butler stuff. So with this game being, the last game on the board starting at 10-10, this is the one that I would kind of wait for, especially with the spread. I don't anticipate the spread to move, but just because the trade deadline is so close, this is one that I would kind of wait for, in my opinion here. So this is the third matchup between the two teams. Phoenix won the first one as a 1-point home favorite. Golden State won the second one, 109-105 as a 6.5-point dog. And then Phoenix has kind of dominated the head-to-head matchup. They've won 8 of the last 10, 7-3 against the spread. So for whatever reason, they've had the Golden State's number. I would kind of argue that this Phoenix team is actually better than the Phoenix team that's beaten them over the past. I love the addition of Nick Richards. I know the Suns are coming off a loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves as a 1-point favorite. They had won 3 straight games before that, and you can poke holes in their strength of schedule because it has been pretty weak. They also 4-1 to the under, so that tells me that the defense is playing a little bit better. It's first leg of a back-to-back. They do travel to Portland tomorrow. Probably going to be a Portland spot because Phoenix probably going to be laying a few too many points on the second leg of a back-to-back. And the Suns, they haven't been covering, but they have been winning. Like I said, they've won. What did I say? 4 of their last 5. I think they've won 4 of their last 5, but they are just 3-6-1 against the spread. So with this point margin, you're just looking for them to win the game. To me, it feels like they do have enough. I know Golden State is coming off a couple, really good wins. They beat Utah without Steph. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder as well with Steph on the second leg of a back-to-back. So now it's third game in 4 nights. Could be a little bit of a letdown spot coming off their win where they probably shouldn't have won. And you got a Phoenix team that this is a divisional game as well. Phoenix has been, I think, relatively good. I want to say that they've been pretty good in the division. Phoenix and the Lakers have been really good in that Pacific division. Golden State hasn't had to travel, even though it is third game in 4 nights. This is 5th straight home game for them of a 6-game homestand. I think they got Orlando coming into town on Monday. So this was a spot where I kind of really want to take Phoenix. Not sure if I'll get there. I do think that they have the better team as currently constructed with no Kuminga and no Draymond, who will continue to miss games. And like I said, I like them off a loss. I think Devin Booker is going to be really motivated in this game. He's also somebody that was snubbed from the All-Star team. So not a game that I like. Clearly, you can tell by my analysis, I didn't deep dive into this one. It's a game that I'll kind of wait on. But I will say that I really want to get there with Phoenix, even though Golden State has been playing some pretty good ball as of late. They have, I wouldn't say that they figured it out, but they are slowly but surely figuring it out, and things are starting to get better for them. Also, even though the total's going up, I would lean towards under in this game. It opened 226.5, is up to 229. I do think it's going to be a slower paced game. Phoenix, for whatever reason, have been walking the ball up and down the floor. They are 26th in pace over the last 5 games. They're 27th in pace in road games as well. Golden State playing a lot slower for whatever reason the last 5 games. They're bottom 10 in pace as well. And both teams playing some pretty good defense. Phoenix 13th in defensive efficiency last 5 games. Golden State also 15th in defensive efficiency last 5 games. So I lean towards under. Last 5 games for the Golden State Warriors, they're averaging about 228 points, which is right where this line is. Last 5 games for the Phoenix Suns, they're averaging 216 points. So if Phoenix brings their defense and Golden State, plays defense against Phoenix as well, I think it's a little bit of an under game, and I would want to later probably just take Phoenix on the money line in this spot. And I would definitely be looking towards Devin Booker up and over his points with him being snubbed against the Golden State Warriors in that earlier matchup. So those are my thought processes. Real quick, before I get into the comments, let's just go back to Outlier real quick. I just wrote Devin Booker's name down. I didn't even look into him specifically, but sometimes when you play these all-star snubs, they cash. So let's look at Devin Booker real quick. Devin Booker over 32.5 points plus assists has been good money. 8 of his last 10. You can see that here. There's a link in the description if you want to check out Outlier, 7-day free trial. Devin Booker is in good form. 7 of his last 10 games, he's actually up and over 26.5 points. Against the shooting guard, you can see that the Warriors are struggling, giving up the 7th most points against the shooting guard position. Devin Booker's averaging about 38 minutes over his last 10 games, shooting 49% from the field, 38% from 3. All-star snub. This to me makes a lot of sense. Head-to-head, last 5, he's up and over 4 the last 5. The earlier matchup they played this season, he got there with 27. I like Devin Booker tonight. I think Devin Booker can absolutely explode in this matchup. So, yeah, that's my quick analysis and thought process on this game from a player prop perspective and from a side perspective. That's the way I'd be looking. Devin Booker under and Phoenix. Let's see. No Draymond. KD going off, Swish says. Phoenix finna one-up Golden State tonight. That's the way I agree as well. Now, Ellie says, when coming from a favorite and switch to an underdog, I always fade them. It's cashed every time. So I'm taking the Suns. Dropped 1K on it on this one. Shout out to Nayeli. Scott says, I think KD goes off. Chad says, props too. Yeah, Chris. I don't know how you get past some of these comments, just asinine statements from some. Yeah, it's a lot of comments. I just kind of filtered through. Eventually, your brain starts to pick up on the people that cap the games. That's what I'll say, Chad. And those are the comments that I typically try to look towards. I also know there's new people joining every single day, so I don't like to overlook all the new people either. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say either. Mark says, definitely waiting on the manipulation report. Yeah, gotta wait on it. Justin says Giannis gets 8 assists at plus 240. Put that in his pocket. I like that, Justin. I do like that a lot. Him getting downhill, kicking out to the shooters. I always feel like Giannis assist prop is a pretty good look. Peasy says he's going to play Buddy Hield under his 10.5 points, cash 7 of the last 10. I think Buddy Hield been shooting with a blindfold on. I like this look a lot, Peasy. I might tell you on this. Buddy Hield, every time I see him shoot the ball, he miss. For whatever reason, under 10.5 points. I like this look from Peasy a lot, especially at plus money. Dante says leans Phoenix off the bounce back as well. No Santos props yet. Book still unsure. I'm there on his threes. G421 says. Kalani says Suns don't know how to finish down the stretch. Warriors is the more desperate team. At least we know they're gonna play harder. Coming from a Phoenix fan, I like the addition of of Nick Richards though, and I do think Golden State will struggle with Mark Williams in this game though. I mean, I keep saying Mark Williams, Nick Richards keeps getting them mixed up. But yeah, I think I do agree with that. Steven says last two under 220 under at 221. I lean under here. I do lean under. LJ says the Suns have no identity having all NBA players on their team. Chad says he thinks it's a coin flip, may grab something live. Okay. All right, cool. Let's jump into a quick recap. So the plays I bet are in green. I jumped in on Charlotte team total under 99.5 last night or early this morning, whenever I sent it out. I think that line is still available. And then I did take Toronto minus the 3 as well. Really want to get there with the Milwaukee Bucks as well, minus the 2.5. I'll monitor that one throughout the day. The injury report has been bananas, man. So Charlotte team total is still 99.5 on BetMGM, on Bet365, 98.5 everywhere else though. Denver and Philly, like I said, the over it's moved since the show has started. I literally put these in right before. The 232 is gone now. It's up to 232.5. You can still get on Bet Rivers. 233 on most books. I like both of those numbers. I think if it's gonna go over, it's gonna go over. Lean towards the Pelicans, gave you the thought process on that game. Also lean towards the over there. Detroit on the money line is a play that I like today. Have not bet it yet though. I like Cade up and over his points, rebounds, and assists. I like Devin Booker up and over his 26.5. That should be added here as well. And then I do think that this is a little bit of an under game. Totals have been killing me though, so I'll probably end up staying off the total. But Devin Booker over 26.5 points. And then let's see, full game under as well in this one. Phoenix, Golden State under 229, and Milwaukee. You can get a minus 2.5 right now. So only 2 plays I've made official so far. I'll finalize the card throughout the day. But this is the way I'm looking at the games, man. I do appreciate you all for rocking with me, tapping into the ChrisBeCappinn Show early to start your Friday morning, at least here on the East Coast. And yeah, I'll be on with Cal at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his show. And then we'll jump back into it tomorrow to see if we can find some more ways to make some money, man. Best of luck on all your action today. All my resources I use to handicap are here. There are links in the description if you're interested in checking any of them out. Save yourself some coin by using those referral links. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your Friday, man. Be safe. Stay dry. It's supposed to rain in Virginia all day today. And yeah, enjoy the day, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.